Thank you for joining the Asheville Rise Stronger Together podcast. This is your host, Jessica Knupp with the Asheville Area Chamber of Commerce. I hope you enjoy today's episode. This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, True Point Bank. Today we are here with Megan Thorp, the marketing director at Tanger Asheville. I'm so thrilled to have you here to talk about what all you guys did during the hurricane. So tell us a little bit about your role at Tanger Asheville and kind of what you guys did at the start of the hurricane.
Sure. So my role as marketing director at Tanger Asheville is to, one, obviously make a customer and a shopper's journey a memorable one. We're all about experiences at Tanger. So working with the community as well. So bringing in nonprofits, bringing in local groups to host events, drive traffic and sales. That is something else. We want to help promote our retailers. That's a big draw for us to make sure that customers and people in the area know what brands we have, because their success is our success.
Right.
And yeah, there's a lot of roles that go into it. Social media. So really, any given day, I don't know what I'm going to be doing.
Right. Right. You have a lot of different hats.
But so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when the hurricane kind of we didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah. No.
You know, I mean, I personally thought it was just a little rainstorm. You know, I mean, it is. But you guys really had to kick into gear. I mean, not only with your staff, in the office, but you guys have how many retailers?
We have 65 plus retailers.
And then that's all their employees as well.
Correct.
So.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you kind of leading up the 3 days before the storm, we had all that heavy rainfall. And so we kind of started anticipating, okay, we're definitely going to, maybe have to be closed on Friday, the day the storm hit. I believe that we closed the center early to make sure that our employees and retailers could get home safely. Yeah. So, we all didn't know what to expect as, nightfall hit and early morning hours. You could hear the wind. I was looking out. My electricity at home went out at 5 a.m. And, then you're kind of thinking this is probably going to be a day with no electricity.
Yeah.
So once we woke up, the sun came up, it was still raining, and we were able still to communicate.
Right.
I think it was 10 o'clock when all of our cell phones went out. I think the internet had already gone out, though. Yeah. So communicating with team members was very difficult.
Right.
I still have a draft in my inbox to my social media representative at corporate that says, "Hey, Devin, not sure I'm able to post a social. Do you mind letting our retailers know and our Facebook community know that we are not opening the center today?"
Right.
And obviously it didn't send, but I still have that in my inbox as a reminder. There was no communication. I think everybody knew at that point, nobody's going into work. And we always express to our retailers too, look, if conditions are not safe, the center's open, but if conditions are not safe for you or your team, we want you to do what's best for you. So obviously I think that Friday people knew, okay, safety nobody's first. Going anywhere. Right. Because at my house, I didn't see any damage until it was time that we wanted to explore to see if my husband's mother was okay. Yeah. We didn't get to the center at all until the following Saturday. And it was because Good Samaritans had cut trees. Right. And it was kind of amazing that my team, we all got to the center within an hour of each other. That was the first thing we were we got to go to the center and see what's happened. And we didn't lose power.
Really?
Yes. I think we were the only section of Asheville that did not lose power.
Interesting.
And we had water. So that was kind of our normal place. But within that, greeting everyone, making sure everyone was okay, it was then let's get to work. We got to figure out, how are our retailers? How's our property? Is there damage? So it was kind of a lot of moving parts at once.
So many.
But safety first.
Right, exactly. So I know, once you guys got there, and of course, like you mentioned, we didn't have internet, we didn't have cell service, and we're so dependent on those things, I mean, even us here at the chamber, we were texting in a group text, and then all of a sudden, we didn't have any communication with each other. So I know you guys did, a lot of outreach, trying to get with those retailers and stuff. So what did What did that rest of that look like?
Just kind of like our team, a lot of our retailers started showing up within the days after the storm, and good old-fashioned power of old-fashioned communication. We had to talk to each other.
Right.
Like, we couldn't call each other, we couldn't email each other. So it's like, hey, what are we doing? It's like, nothing right now. Like,
right.
Because everybody didn't know the severity unless you were like traveling. We didn't. We couldn't get news.
Yeah.
So it was all like the game of telephone.
Yeah.
Without a telephone.
Yeah. Or like handwritten notes or the radio. We were, you know.
Yeah. Note to self: get a battery operated radio.
Yes.
But no, so we just knew, okay, we're going to close the center. Obviously, there was no water, so as a business, you couldn't operate and function because you have to have that element to be able to open. But once cell phone service started to come back online, it was our responsibility and our goal to contact every retailer on our emergency contact and be like, what's going on? How are you, first of all? You know, I don't even want to talk to you about a reopening plan, but, you know, let us know what that looks like. We didn't like say to anybody, you have to be open at this date and time. We're planning on reopening the center because we dug a well to be able to reopen our restrooms. So yeah, we got a permit to be able to dig that well to reopen about 2 weeks after the storm. So there was functioning toilets for people.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, you know, we said, hey, we're reopening this time. You let us know when you're reopening, what your reopening looks like, because we knew that there was 300, 400 plus employees. So we weren't going to force it, and we all went through a trauma, so we weren't going to force anybody.
Because you're not only dealing with, I mean, obviously businesses were affected and everything, but also our personal, like, you know, homes were affected as well, you know?
Right.
I mean,
well, and a big part of us reopening is, you know, one, a lot of these retailers, they needed it. They needed that sense of normalcy and wanted to get back to work. A lot of them every day met at their store. Again, because we didn't lose electricity. So it was a normal place for them to come in their teams. And then they went and volunteered in the community. And then they would come back. So, but we knew that they could only have such short-term pay. So they wanted to get back to work. We then wanted to be that place that community members could come and feel a sense of normalcy. We had the toilets that they could use. We had like if they lost something, they could then visit our retailers and replenish. Emergency workers who were out working, you know, day and night, they needed to replenish their gear. So Under Armour, they, you know, opened up and offered a discount to our first responders.
Oh, that's amazing.
Sportsmen's the same. So, you know, we needed to be that place, that safe haven for our community.
Oh, that's great. You guys also were housing like some of the like in your parking lot, right?
So immediately after the storm, Jamie, our operations director, he had already reached out to power crews because in instances where there'd be storms in Florida, they would utilize our parking lot as a staging area and then head down to Florida. So Jamie, our operations director, was like, hey, if you guys need it, you know, please. We didn't anticipate it needing to be for our area. So that day that we all had gathered at the center within an hour of each other, Duke and the power companies had already started to build their dining hall. They had already dropped off showers, toilets, sleeper campers, and then within hours, we had about 2,200 linemen from all across the country in our parking lot starting to go to work to try and restore power. So it was pretty amazing to see.
It gives me chills.
It does give you chills. Because, you know, we were all like living in a twilight zone. You know, you heard the helicopters coming over. We didn't know what was going on. But to be able to help frontline workers and know that we could be somewhat of the a community where we could give back to the community in some sense, because at some point you're like, I don't know what to do.
I know.
So it was pretty inspirational to see and talk to the linemen. And hear from them. Yeah, this is the worst storm response that we've ever seen.
Yeah, because they literally pick up from wherever they live. And leave their families. And do this numerous times throughout the year. And then to know that some of our linemen that live here were working in their own community, which they normally are leaving to go do that, you know. and then they're leaving to go back to check on their families,
right.
Yeah. It's so nice to know that you guys were able to really do that.
Yeah. It's the power of a large parking lot and then the power of also communication before the storm. So, and relationships.
Right.
And also it's not something that we, looked for notoriety from, but it was very important for our corporate office to be able to help. So we had purchased a drone for APD to help deliver supplies.
Wow.
And help with recovery. Our teams and properties from all across the country held blood drives. They collected donations. They worked with local nonprofits to bring supplies. And then just taking care of us personally, their team. They went to Sam's Club and Costco and drove. They didn't even know what they were driving into to make sure that we had generators, to make sure we had food, to make sure we had batteries, chargers that we could charge at work. So just knowing Tanger as a whole, not only taking care of the community, but taking care of the team. Oh gosh, I mean, not to get emotional, but like it was amazing. Like we would not have been able to survive the storm without the support of Tanger.
Oh goodness.
I know.
Woo! Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
We said we weren't going to do that.
We said we weren't.
But
months later, this is still how it affects us.
Oh yeah. And I think it will continue.
Yeah.
As we talk about these things, we're looking back at this, and this is going to affect, like you look around and you drive around, town, and it looks different, and we feel different about what we're doing, but also like the gratitude of what we all pulled together to do is amazing.
Yeah. And
what you guys were able to do as a corporate, it's just phenomenal how everyone was able to pull together. As a follower on your social media, I know giving back and doing a lot of community events or something you guys do on a regular. As you guys got through that, I think doing stuff for the kids was very important. One of your events.
Yeah, Boo Bash. We knew that a lot of Halloween events were going to be canceled because of the storm. And so that was one event that we just decided to pour all of our energy into. So, we had, we wanted to make sure that local vendors too, because they had lost their business because of Halloween being canceled in most areas. We wanted to give them an opportunity to make some money as well. Right. So we had 11,000 trick-or-treaters at our center.
Goosebumps.
Again. Yeah. And we were able to invite, APD, Asheville Police, Asheville Fire, and we know that they had gone through so much too. So it was a chance to give them some fun. And again, normalcy, we keep talking about it, but they came up to us afterwards and had said that they had received a lot of feedback from folks in the community who was like, thank you so much for doing this. Yeah. Like, we lost everything. And this is like the first time that we've been able to have fun.
Right.
That event was very special to all of us. We had some corporate partners travel in to help us because we knew that it was going to be big. And it was great. I loved it. Halloween Superstore, they donated costumes. So we had costumes available for kids who may not have been able to get one or lost theirs. So it was a great event, great success.
That is so cool. We have I don't know, it's just so nice to know that we have those partners that can, pull together like that. Is there anything else you would like to add, to tell anyone about what you guys have going on?
We are also unveiling a new activation space at the center. So we're going to have a kids play area that's going to also feature a dog park. We've got some local muralists that are going to be doing some painting. So there's a lot of things to look forward to.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the muralist. Like, how did that come about?
So Gus Cuddy is his name, and his beautiful wife is also going to be doing that. Our beautiful office manager, Summer, is friends with him and reached out to him asking if he'd be interested in doing this project. And we met with them, and they've said absolutely. So one wall is going to feature an Asheville themed type mural, and then the other one's going to be more of a floral because Gus's wife is very and they've got murals all over Western North Carolina.
Yeah.
So
that's special.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Yeah. Not to bring it back to the hurricane one more time, but what about anything that you guys have learned from, I don't want to say learned from this experience, but like as an organization, kind of like, I mean, I know that Tanger has properties all over the country.
Yeah.
Like, has there been anything that you know of that's maybe been put in place?
Yeah, so actually, funny you mention it, we just currently had a hurricane preparedness call.
Were you the leader?
Well, we were not, but I thought we were going to be. But, there are centers that are located in Florida and Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, and South Carolina, North Carolina out east, our Mebane location. And then also we have some up in New England area, New York. And so we were the properties on the call. Did not, obviously did not think Asheville would be part of a hurricane call, but we learned the hard way that we could be affected. I think we basically just kind of learned, okay, we've got to have a plan in place before a storm comes, because they track and they see, like, let's check our roofs, let's check to make sure that we have materials and things that we need to contact retailers. So yes, there's been a lot of conversations had about what to expect. So yeah, there's a lot of learning that was had.
Yeah. Well, tell everybody how they can find out about your events and your social handles so they can follow. And because I know you guys do so many different things. And also, if any of our businesses that are listening, how they can get involved, because you mentioned, like, I know you guys do some vendor opportunities and maybe some, pop-up shops and whatever you call them.
Yeah, so you can always keep up to date with everything that we have going on our website, which is tanger.com/Asheville. We have the current list of our stores. We also have our event listings. Our Facebook and Instagram page, our handles are Tanger Outlets Asheville. Okay. So pretty simple, and we do Facebook events that you can keep up with. And then as far as local businesses who maybe want to get their name out to raise awareness, if you're a nonprofit, if you're a local business, you can contact me, Megan Thorp at Tanger.com, and I can kind of walk you through the process of what that looks like. If you want to advertise with its signage, or if it's popping up like you mentioned, or if you're a local jeweler who wants to come out on a weekend and feature your goods. Contact me. Yeah,
that's great. Well, we really appreciate your partnership with the Chamber, and we are so glad that everything you were able to help so many community members, and everybody was able to be safe and get back up and running as much as possible. And I know that that's a big undertaking, 65 stores, and that's like multiple employees, and you guys have in that office a staff of what, like four?
Yeah. And then we have our housekeeping vendors, and then our security team. So yeah, they were working around the clock to get the center in shape, and our security team was working with the Duke crews to make sure that nobody was coming into the center to infiltrate their operation. So yeah, it was a long couple of weeks, months, but we were so honored, I guess, in a sense, to be able to be that guiding light for the community.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it so much, and thank you for all you do.
Well, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Megan, for being here with us today, and we'll see you soon.
Okay.
All right. If you enjoyed today's episode, like, comment, and subscribe. To learn more about joining the Asheville Chamber, scan the QR code on your screen or visit ashevillechamber.org. Until next time!